A little walk around review on this Tarpon 160 by Wilderness Systems that I have for sale on Craigslist. Kind of give you some highlights. It'll be a little bit easier than trying to do it in a Craigslist posting. So it is a Tarpon 160. I believe the color is called Mango. This boat's awesome. It's set up to be a fishing kayak. I get complimented on this boat just about every time I go out. It is a sit-atop boat, so it's got these scupper holes, so it's self-draining. Can be just slightly wetter than a traditional kayak with a spray skirt, but minimally so, and really only from the paddle spray. So I use it in cold climates early and late in the season without any problem. So just kind of highlight some standard features with this boat. Very adjustable, very comfortable seat, much improved over some of the sit-atop boats. The seat adjusts up and down and forward and back for support. The leg piece also adjusts up and down with these straps here that you pull and adjust. So pretty handy. It's got these pockets here. I always have them stuffed full of gear and food and stuff when I'm out on fishing trips, so really handy. Keep stuff readily available. It's got these bungee cords for tying down a small tackle box or whatever up front, real handy. Cup holder, of course. It's got a couple dry hatches, which are real handy. You can actually use it for extended trips, camping, stuff like that. Done a little bit of that as well. It's got a couple lanyards in here with carabiners, so I'll hook stuff in here, so I have an emergency whistle when needed. I also put my phone in a waterproof bag in here, so I have it readily available. That just keeps stuff from sliding around. It's got a smaller hatch there and a larger hatch up front here. This one's not accessible when you're on the water, but for storing stuff, we'll talk about what I have in there in a bit. But this one's readily available when you're boating, so real handy. Again, it's a fishing kayak, so we have 2 rod holders in the back here. These are very accessible. I usually run 2 rods, and I can switch back and forth very easily. I'm including this crate here with a PVC holder for a fishnet, which again, very accessible, real handy. Holds 5 with the net in there. Holds 5 of these standard tackle boxes or tackle cases. Also have a little Cabela's folded binder there with soft baits and stuff. Plenty of room in the back. You can put a life jacket if that's required by law, or you want to have it. I also have put coolers back there. Whatever you want to do. Pretty handy, big space there. It's a 16-foot boat. I think I said that. It's a Tarpon 160. It's heavy. It's about 70 pounds, but it's manageable. I get it up on my vehicle by myself, so no problems. I got some tie down or some bungees up here for lashing additional stuff if you want to, some dry bags or whatever you want to do. Adjustable foot rests for efficient paddling, whatever your height. It has these integrated rails on the sides, which take the proprietary, there's some aftermarket companies I think that make it too, accessories that you can put on there on both sides. Also has them in the back for adjusting those bungee cords and stuff. I have this accessory here for moving this fishing rod, or for this fishing rod holder here. Can be adjusted front and back very easily. The rod sits in there if you need to set it down to paddle or drop an anchor, whatever you need to do. So you can actually have 3 rods if you wanted to, going the way I have it set up now. In this holder here, I have a fish finder mount that I put in with a Humminbird 170 on there. You can see the cords for that run in here. I'll show you how that's hooked up. Pretty handy little deal. I'll also show you where the transducer is, but she's all set up, ready to go. She's on ground, so she ain't gonna read anything that makes any sense right now, but I'll shut that down. I also, in addition, since we're on to power and supply there, also installed running lights here. So these are on the bow. Here, we'll turn those on. There's a little toggle switch right here that I put in, so real accessible when you're on the water, you're coming back in the dark or going out in the morning. Flick that switch, you have a green and a red, standard boating colors, and then you got two whites on the back. So these show up really bright, really well at night, so just that extra little bit of safety when you're a small boat on the water and can't maneuver out of people's way. So let me show you, since we're on that, in this dry box here. Here's where I have the battery hooked up to all this stuff that's wired to run the lights and the fish finder. So that's just stashed up in there, no problem. this disconnects and can hook up to a charger to recharge. And then I put it in this little dry bag, drop it down there, fold it all up, and I can fish all day pretty much with that fish finder, and then run the lights when I need to. Let me show you where. So there's, you know, these are on there with gaskets, no leaks whatsoever. They've been on there, and it's rock solid. It's really good. And then all the wiring is just back up in there. You can see that, I guess. So, right, you know what? You're gonna be able to see it easier from the other box or the other storage. Oops, I locked it. So, right there is where the transducer is. There are different ways of mounting these. I did not like the permanent epoxy ways of doing it. I was worried about it not getting air bubbles and not working well. And also, this is completely reversible if you want to take out that fish finder. That is just some, what do they call that stuff? It's like a, oh shoot, I can't remember what they call it. It's a putty that they use in plumbing and stuff. So the transducer, you just build this little well, you fill it up with water, put the transducer in there, and seal it up. That's been on there 4 years with the same water in it. Works like a charm. Give it a few minutes after getting the boat in the water for the temperature in that little well there to equilibrate with the water itself, and you get accurate temperature reads and depth finding and fish finding and everything. So pretty handy. Also included is this anchor. Folds up real handy, real small. Opens up with 4 prongs. Works really extremely well. It holds this boat pretty darn steady. Also not shown, maybe if I have time in this video I can show you how it works. If anybody's interested in buying, I'll show you too. I made anchor, what do they call these things? I can't remember what they call them now, but you hook it up to the boat, and since you're limited in your how much you can move around in a kayak, you run the anchor rope through here, and then you can slide this anchor point all the way to the front of the boat or all the way to the back of the boat. So in wind, it lets your boat orient to the wind and current based on where the anchor is and where you want to fish. So really handy way of positioning yourself when there's wind or current. So the anchor's included. Also included is this paddle, this force paddle, breaks in half. I also installed since this is a fishing kayak, I also installed a little boat ruler sticker on here, so you can just lay that paddle right across your lap and lay your big old monster on there and figure out how big he is. So kind of handy. So the paddle's included as well. I also have this cart that I made for it. Works extremely well because, again, the boat's not the lightest kayak out there. So if you're moving it by yourself, this is extremely handy. You just set the rear end on this, grab that front handle, and pull. Works extremely well. And you don't have, if you didn't buy a terribly expensive cart, so you don't mind leaving it somewhere on shore and just coming back to it, put it out of sight. Awesome boat. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm missing that I want to share with you. Scupper plugs are included. If you don't expect to take on water, you can put plugs in there so water doesn't come up through. Honestly, I'm right about 200 pounds. I never have any significant water coming through these scuppers with my weight and all my gear in the boat at all. Other than if it gets real choppy and you get a wave come up underneath, you may get a little burble, a little bit of splash up through there, but it all runs right back out. Really, actually, all things considered, a fairly dry kayaking experience. So that's the boat. Thing is awesome. You could certainly tack a few more accessories on there and play around with it a little bit, but I set this guy up to be a fishing kayak, and it's all I have ever really needed. Selling because I have a son. This is not a two-man boat, and I'm going to need to get into a two-man boat so I can take my little guy out with me. So otherwise I would be holding on to this thing and not getting rid of it. So if I think of anything I missed, you'll see it in the written description on Craigslist. Hope this was helpful for you guys, and anybody that's interested, give me a holler. Thanks a lot.